Close your eyes, leave all your troubles behind. Yes, it's fine. Come kick it with me in my imagination. In my imagination. Well, sometimes my mind plays these tricks on me sometimes, and I'll find that my mind climbs higher than it should climb. On my imagination, I'm contemplating, hesitating on exploiting my mind, which you find in time. Our minds, they will shine when they want to shine. You can put a time on mine. Show me these purple elephants, a twisted intelligence, extension on tolerance, dimension on flowers in my mind. Stop.
Hello, my name is Woolley. Welcome to the second episode of Eat, Sleep, Run, Repeat. Let me introduce to you my co-hosts. Firstly, a man that lives on a farm. He rides horses. He's the only bloke I've ever known to change shoes 3 times on a long run, Mr. Nathan Barden. My second co-host is the only member of the podcast who has to duck his head to walk through a standard door opening, Steve the Spartan Sparling. My third co-host is a man who is built like an action figure. He once modelled the catwalk on the Sunshine Coast, winning himself the title of Mr. Beachfront Australia, Mr. Fraser Barden. And my other co-host, Wax, isn't here again, as usual. So welcome to the show. Let's get started.
Missing in action again, Brad.
Yeah, Brad's not here.
He's building for it.
Yeah, he's stressing about not training and all the rest of it.
No, seen his tattoo and stuff.
Anyone got any unrelated running news from this week?
West Ham drew 1-1.
Is that a good result for West Ham?
Not really. Spurs beat Man City, top of the league.
Who are top of the league now?
Man City still, but Spurs beat them last night. Nathan, Spurs supporter. Steve Woolley, Spurs supporter.
Yeah, I'm not really anymore. I couldn't even tell you anyone who's in the team. Embarrassed to say, but that's the truth. I don't watch it. I just don't watch it enough.
How's everyone's running week been? How's everyone's running week been this week? All right?
Yeah, I've had a good week. What about you boys?
Yeah, you did. You had a win.
Yeah.
Steve. So, Steve, tell us about the little race yesterday and the win.
Yeah. Do you want me to go through my week? What I've done training-wise and that? It's not really anything.
Yeah, do it.
Nothing too exciting.
Yeah. Go for the week.
I had a pretty good week last week. So I had Monday off and then I just jogged most of the week. Wednesday I did like a 20K run through the city. I finished work and I sit in the car for an hour, and by the time I get home, it just drains all the energy out of me. So I thought, take my gear with me. I'm working in East Brisbane at the moment. So I've knocked off work, laced up the shoes, run through South Bank. Since I did that track race at Masters, I've had heaps of trouble slowing down. I don't know if you guys experienced that after a race. I had to keep telling myself to back off the pace. But I ended up doing 20K with an average of 4:30 or something like that. And it was just too quick because by the last few K, I felt so tired and I thought, oh man, I've just gone way too hard here. Yeah, that was good. Then Thursday and Friday, I think I just ran both days. And then Saturday, I was going to go back out to Masters again, but it was they were doing the 3,000 meters on the track again. And I thought, I don't want to do another 3K. So then I was just searching the net for what races were on. And I noticed there was a fun run on in the Botanical Gardens in Brisbane. And that was at 5 p.m. And it said entries are closed. So I private messaged the page on Facebook. And they said, we've opened up entries for you till 7:30 a.m. So I entered. And I've never done what they call a shakeout run. Loads of the pros that I follow on Strava and that, they'll often do a shakeout run in the morning before an afternoon race. So I thought, I'll give that a whirl. So I jogged 3K Saturday morning at about 7:30 in the morning. So it wasn't too hot. And then headed out there to this race. And when I actually checked in to get my number, they said, "Oh, you're the guy that messaged on Facebook." And I said, "Yeah." And they said, "You weren't even the last guy." They said, "We had 3 more entries after you." Yeah. So I was pretty shocked by that. Yeah, that was I'll just give you a little bit of a history of the event, because I'd never heard of it. And anyone listening, they might know, but they might not. But it was SRI Chinmoy. They run events all over the world. And SRI Chinmoy was an Indian spiritual leader who was he was a sprinter in his younger days, and he took up long distance running in his mid 40s, and he ran like 25 marathons and loads of other things, and ultras and stuff like that. The Running Foundation was founded in like 1977, and they've been running events all over the world. And yeah, they don't only do running events, sorry, they do swims, triathlons, multi-sport events. And interestingly, they're the largest sponsor of ultra distance running in the world. They're the largest. And they got loads
raising money.
Is it to raise money? I'd have to do a bit more reading, but basically it's like a foundation that, I'm not really 100% sure what they support, but it seems like a really good thing that they're doing for the community. But yeah, I thought that was interesting that they're the largest sponsor of ultra distance running in the world. And they got loads of events in Brisbane that they do, loads of events all over Australia. I think they got one coming up on the south side of Brisbane in a couple of weeks. And, if you win your age group, I think you get a medal. Like it was pretty well attended, and it was run through the Botanical Gardens in Brisbane. Pretty windy. And
the course looked really weird. It looked a bit easy to get confused with.
Yeah, it was. It was when they were giving the instructions at the start. After about like a minute of him explaining it, I just gave up. Like there was turns, left turns, right turns, U-turns, and it was 2 5K loops, but each 5K loop was a small loop and a big loop. And so like the small loop and the big loop looped off each other. So there was arrows and shit going on the course. And once you did the one loop, it wasn't too bad. But on the first big loop, so you did a small loop, then a big loop, me and the guy who was second, Tim, I can't think of his last name, Tim, he's a regular at Redcliffe Park run, really good runner. He's in his 50s, but he's a shit hot runner. I think he's run like low 30 minutes for 10K and stuff like that when he was a bit younger. But we got to a turnaround point, and someone had taken the U-turn sign off the witch's hat. So when we run past the cone, I saw something on the floor, and we ran about 100 meters, and I said, "Man, I reckon that was the turnaround point." And he said, "Do you reckon?" I said, "I think so." So we sort of both backed off the pace a little bit. And he said, usually with these things, I just keep running and I'll find someone. And we run another like 100 meters, and there's no one around. Like there was people around, but there was no marshals or anything. And I said, "Man, we got to go back." So we run back to the witch's hat. I picked up the thing that was on the floor, and it was the U-turn sign. So someone obviously just thought would have been a funny joke to take that off. So we put it back on.
You want Pasha?
Well, no. So when we actually got back to the witch's hat, third place was just there. So we lost a bit of ground, but I think he was already fading, so it didn't really matter. And then once we'd done that first lap, at least we knew where to go. And then, second lap, I was just kind of pushing it a little bit more, and I managed to get a bit of a gap, and then just kind of put my foot down to get a bigger gap. And then I think
what was your time? What was your time, and how far ahead of second did you come?
Probably, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 seconds or something. I haven't seen the results, but I think I was just over 38 minutes, 38:10 or something like that. So not the quickest time I've ever run, but pretty good for that course and for the hills and stuff that were in it. I thought I was pretty happy with that. And just to get a win, just to get a win.
You're plagued with going wrong, aren't you?
Oh, that's what I said when they were explaining the directions. I said to that Tim, I said, "I hope you're listening, mate, because I'm following you." I said, "I'm useless with this shit." And he said, "Oh, I was hoping to be following someone else."
Is this a regular thing, Nate?
It happened a few times.
A lot, or what?
Lake Manchester race, they said at the start, if you end up at Mount Nebo, don't phone us. We won't come and get you.
Yeah.
Where did Steve end up? Where did Woolley end
Oh.
up? He ended up at the top of Mount Nebo. He missed I saw on his Strava, missed the right-hand dog leg, and I just missed it with someone come up as she come up behind me, and she went, "Is it not down here?" And because I was totally in the zone, I had 2 sticks down the ground, like, marching hard up this hill. I'd missed it, but what they hadn't done, all the other trails where you were meant to stop, they'd put a like bunting across and put a cross there. Now, further up there was a cross, but it's easy to miss. But there was no bunting to say don't go because it was open. The trails were open to normal walkers and that. But the day before, walkers had been round and thought people had left it there from ages. They were taking them off as well, so that to go around first thing on the Sunday morning and re-put them up. And that might have been what they missed. And I said to them, there was no bunting there, and they said, "Oh, there should have been." So they obviously missed putting the bunting there. But it was a pretty treacherous downhill that you missed anyway, Steve. But Steve kept on, went up and up. And up,
there
and
was
up Mount Nebo Road.
There was 3 of us that went wrong that day. I think the third guy turned around, but me and another one of the Southline Striders
did about 30K.
At the end. He ran so far. I mean, it was boiling hot too, and limited water and all that stuff. Like I realized
if you got to the checkpoints, you was plenty of water, Steve.
Yeah, but because I was racing, I was leading, so I didn't want to slow down or stop.
I reckon you would have won that because the hills on the way back. Yeah, I reckon you would, because there was two set off. We did the 6 a.m. and there was a 7 a.m. and I think the 6 a.m. guy, no, the 7 a.m. guy got the best time. But I reckon you would have been on course for getting
we were pretty. I've checked his Strava. We were pretty similar for splits, but it was the problem was I missed that turn at Lake Manchester, and about a K up the road there was like bunting tied to a tree. So when I was just starting to doubt that I was going wrong, I was like, "Oh, look, there's another marker." So I just put my head down and kept running, and I was thinking, "Oh, I'm going to see some marshals soon." And I just kept going, and it kept going up and up and up and up and up and up.
Went right to the road.
Oh, mate, it just got to the point where I was like, I have to be off course now because it was getting more and more isolated. And then I come out onto a main road and there was houses. So I went and knocked on one of the doors, and this lady come down. She's like, "You're at Mount Nebo." I was like, "Oh, no."
Another story anyway, because like Steve had the key.
Oh yeah, that was the worst part about it.
Oh, this on Spartan. There's another story to this. Now, luckily, Fraser was running with his mobile phone, and I don't run with a mobile phone, and it was in the car. Steve, because we knew he'd back first, we gave him the car key. So Steve is at Mount Nebo and I'm going, I wonder where he's gone.
With no phone either. No phone.
Fraser comes over. I wait for Fraser. I'm waiting for Fraser at the finish line, and he come over the finish line. I gave him a can of Coke because I knew his blood sugar would be low, and it was. And I said, I can't find Steve. Let's go back down to the car. So we go down to the car. And
I was asleep in the car.
Fraser gets on his phone, gets a message from Steve's sister. Steve's at Mount Nebo. We're going to pick him up, and then Dad's going to drop him off. About an hour and a half after we'd finished, maybe even longer.
Oh, it was longer than that.
Copy later.
Longer.
Steve finally arrives back so we could get into the car. But lucky, everything was in the car, and Steve had the.
We were just lucky that it was all like free food and free drinks at the finish and up there, free coffee. Yeah, because we had to sit and.
And that was with tracks, wasn't it? That was trail running. Trail running and running Queensland, and they run some really good courses. So a good shout out to them and some good events. And they don't charge too much. I think that race was like $65. You got a medal.
I didn't.
I'll tell you, it's the jinx of Nathan though, because when Fraser, myself, and our other good friend, my best mate, Byers, did the Nerang Forest 50K. Again, Lee, who was in probably the top 5 or 6, he missed the turnaround point on the second lap at the 12.5K. And he again did not finish. So honours of the group went to me.
I think that's just
They're
part of
finishing
those
first,
sports is you've
but-
really got to study the course or program it into your watch or do
I
something.
think that is the dead set best thing that you can do on a Garmin is put the course in your watch, because you can always flick across to it, but you just know. And if you go like 10 meters off course, that, you know, we saw that, didn't we, Stephen? We did the Glasshouse Mountains run.
Yeah.
You know, you're off course. And it was like, I said, look, we're running parallel to the course. It's only like 10 meters away. And we ran through the bush.
Yeah. We just
like through some
tracked
trees
through
and we were back on it.
Oh,
So
fair.
it's pretty GPS tracking there, like fair play to it. Yeah. So I would suggest that to anyone listening. If you're going to do a trail race, even actually probably like a road race, it's fairly long, and it's definitely not set out or you're worried about it, then definitely a trail race. Lock that course into you, and they all supply them. Save it to your Garmin app, and then transfer it to your watch. And then as you start, do course. And you have to wait a while for it to download. Make sure you do it the night before and download it and everything. But I'm going to do that for Noosa, definitely. And for the Guzzler as well, I reckon as well. Sparling, do that. Yeah, lock it in.
What about you boys? Who else has had a good week here?
Hey, how did your week finish?
Oh yeah, jogged at the around the dam, 14k this morning with Dad and Jeff. I think that got me to about 75k for the week, so that's pretty good.
Yeah,
Starting to get some consistency again, which is good.
Pretty sloshy out there today.
Oh, I was soaking wet, and I didn't. When I was leaving the house, I thought, should I take my trail shoes? And I was like,
no, mate,
nah.
you're running a trail.
And then I know, but then as soon as I drove, it was like pouring with rain, and I was like, oh no! So I wore a pair of Nike Invincibles. And anyone who's listening who's got a pair of them, they're like lead weights as it is, and they're running through puddles. They were just
What time did you kick off? What time did you kick off?
6:30.
Oh,
It was raining then, wasn't it?
Yeah. The trails were
Fraser,
just
did you
soaked.
get wet? Fraser, did you get wet running?
I didn't run this morning.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't run till later. I did an hour on the treadmill earlier on. I went to the gym. Mid-morning and then did a run this afternoon.
Nice.
What gym did you go to?
I go to Anytime Fitness at Albany Creek.
Go through your week, Fraser.
It wasn't. I had to drop the boys off Monday, and then Monday was just a easy run. Tuesday was a session, but I didn't do the on my schedule. I'm doing for Ben Park's 5K. The Tuesday session I didn't do because I didn't feel that great, so I just did the Thursday session, which was 20-minute easy, 20-minute sort of hard, 20 easy. So I did that, and I didn't think I'd do that well, but I felt pretty good actually. Ended up doing about 12k all up in 60 minutes, so it's pretty good. Yeah, and then Wednesday was a rest day, and then I had a session to do Thursday, but I just didn't. I don't know, I didn't feel it this week really. Right, it wasn't a great week running wise. Yeah, and then I just Friday nothing, and then Saturday I went to the gym again Saturday, then just went for a run, and then did the same again today. Just my schedule I'm following, I sort of think I'll just abolish this week, and I'll do this week like next week. Start again.
Anyone who's listening from outside Australia, which we did have a few listens from outside Australia last week, surprisingly, but it's so hot over here at the moment. Like it's almost not safe to do sessions when it's this hot. Like your heart rate's so high. It's best to just like delay it or move it or wait till it cools down.
Like this morning, the sun wasn't out. I was just out we were just moving some wood, and I was cutting down some weeds, and I literally been in about half an hour. I was soaked. And the sun wasn't even out, and that was maybe
just 9 o'clock. Like sweating your bollocks off.
Yeah, the humidity is just crazy, eh?
Yeah. And then a busy week at work and stuff. So at the time you get home in the evening, and it's just like, it's hard.
That's why I took my shoes with me and ran on Wednesday, because by the time I get home,
you would have got home, you might do it.
Yeah.
It gets a little bit late, and it's just like, I'm hungry, want something to eat and stuff. So
so I don't mind waiting till a bit later. I'll run with my head torch on, and it's pretty quiet around here. But I don't mind running at night with the head torch on. It's definitely good if you're practicing for 100k or some of these races start early.
You're gonna be doing that in the race.
Oh my 50K I won't. But,
Oh, you won't? Okay.
But 100K,
Hopefully.
you probably would need to run with a torch just in case, and then you got a spare battery, and that. So I don't mind running with. I got some really good. I got the A up lights, which I've had them a long time, and they're still batteries are charging well. They're good, and I got the head strap for that, and I've got a couple of different ones. I used to use them for 24-hour mountain bike racing, so. I really like them. They're pretty lightweight and they light up the road pretty good. And yeah, as long as you don't trip over anything.
You
And
live in the middle of
it's
nowhere,
cooler.
no street lights.
Well, there aren't any street lights, so you can't. Even if you did run, like only up the top of the road, there's maybe a few. But yeah, you have to run.
Dark, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's good practice though.
All the overseas people, Nate lives in the Bundies out in Narangba.
He lives on a farm with horses and all sorts.
Yeah, that's what Aussies call the Bundies.
The Bundies.
Yeah.
There'll be possums and wallabies running out in front of me and deer and all that.
Mate, some of them Petzl headlamps, they're like tiny and they're so bright. Dad's got one, and it is like just like two bits of string with a tiny little like torch head thing. And
the
it's
lumens
super bright. Light up a whole road. Yeah,
the lumen on them. But I'll get a new one. I'll probably get a new one for because mine just is they're one strength. But you can get them now, which is like full strength, half strength, and flashing. And they still use the same batteries that I've got. But they do a kit. They do a kit that's pretty cheap. Like it's about $200. You get like a head strap, you get a belt bag that you can use running to put extra bits in or carry an extra battery. Get the head strap, you get the light, and you get a battery for it. I think maybe a 3-hour battery or 2 batteries. You might get 2 3-hour batteries in a charger. I've already got a charger would fit, but they're pretty good bargain. Definitely worth it if anyone's listening. A-up lights, I think they ship all over the world. So one to think about.
Cool. What about you, Sparling?
Didn't hit my target this week. I was supposed to do a long run with Nathan, but wasn't feeling real good on Saturday morning when I got up, so I canned that. But instead of, I feel like I've been doing a lot of long, slow runs, like HR runs, just easy pace runs. So this week I decided to do a couple of interval sessions after work. I did an easy run. I had Monday off, same as you, Steve. Just had a rest day, and then Tuesday did an almost 7K, just a loop around the block sort of thing, just the easy pace, just to get out there and sort of start the week off. But come Tuesday, I did an interval session of 200 on, 200 off. So that was a double run day. So in the morning, I did a 6K.
Was that on the Wednesday?
Wednesday, yeah, I did a double run day. So in the morning, I did an easier sort of run, and then in the afternoon, when I got up, I do a split sleep. So when I got up in the afternoon, I went straight away. I went for a run. And it's still hot then, so but yeah, I did a 1K warm up. It was only like 5.5 Ks all up, but 1K warm up. I went and did 8 200 on, 200 off at about sort of 340 pace. So trying to get the legs going again.
Cool.
And then sort of finished off with the run home to make it about 5.6 Ks. So it was a double run day. It was probably only about, I think, 13 Ks total. So, and then the following day, it was really hot, like it was hot at work, but I come home and I thought, I'm going to go for another interval session, just push the boundaries a little bit further, because usually you sort of need to back it up after a double run day, but with something easy. But I just went for it and did a 2K warm up, and then I did 6Ks at 4:30 pace. I think pretty close to it. Some of them were 4:32, 4:33. There was one 4:29, I think. Sort of brought it down a bit, but yeah, the average was probably about 4:32 total. And then
good stuff.
Yeah, and after that, I was a bit further home than the 2K warm down, so it was almost 3K to get home. So yeah, just sort of jogged it home as a warm down.
What time what time of the day did you do that?
I was like 8:30 or something. Yeah, it was hot. I was soaked.
Brutal.
I was soaked. Yeah, it's the humidity more so. It was probably only like 27 degrees, but yeah, it was probably 70 or 80% humidity, which is the killer. It just sweats it out of you, and it hurts. You sort of have trouble breathing. It's like really thick sort of humidity,
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then I done an easy run on Friday. I missed. It was just a 5K, just to warm up for Saturday. But yeah, I woke up Saturday. I wasn't good, so I didn't run with Nathan. He ended up doing 32 Ks. So, and then today I did a 10K. A 10K after work at 6:30. I got hit by the rain, the same as you, Steve. I got about a kilometre into it, and then for the next 9, just got soaked. So yeah, by the time I got home, it was either sweat or rain. The rain's way better because it's cooler.
Yeah,
that's nice though. Running in the rain, eh? I ran in the rain the other day. I love it.
As long as it's not too heavy.
No, it was just drizzle. It was it's just constant, but drizzle. Yeah.
The thing is, like David Goggins says, you know, if you never go out running in the rain, what are you going to do in a race when it starts raining? You're just going to stop and pull over and give up. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's a funny thing. Like if it's pouring, no one wants to go running. But if you're running and it starts, who cares? Like you're already out there.
You're already sweating your bollocks off anyway. So
yeah, you got it. I think. But even running, if you're running on a road, say you're running a marathon, the ground can get a bit slippy and slidey. You know, like especially if it hasn't rained for a while and that rain comes, it can be a bit greasy. And also the white lines, you know, like they're white lines. I used to slip on those on the bikes out. Yeah. If you have never ridden in the rain and it starts raining and you're out in a group or whatever, it can be quite treacherous. You have to stay away from certain. Like at Parkrun, there was that lad like in some days, like in maybe winter, or if it's been raining, there's that dew on the ground, and the wood part boardwalk there is wet. Yeah. You come off of that onto that. Where the concrete, there's that joiner from the concrete to the wood at the finish.
And there's a sharp turn there too. Yeah.
That lad was about 13, 14, he slipped on that, bang, hit the deck. Yeah, I never put my foot on that. I always just like make sure I stride over that when I come to it. So
that's one thing I didn't say. I didn't say about that fun run in the Botanical Gardens. The whole course was on apart from one bit that was concrete, it's like paving. Like it's all those footpaths are paved, and it's because there's all the tree roots. It's all uneven, and I was wearing my Alpha Flies, and they were actually probably a poor shoe choice because they're so springy and bouncy, and
they're hard as well to run on. They can be
just hard. It's hard to get your footing right. Like you couldn't. A couple of times it knocked your rhythm out because you'd hit a paver that was higher than another, and if I had known that, I would have worn like a pair of Next Percent or something. But
as Fraser, he didn't hit his target this week. I didn't hit mine, but if I got 40,
no, I didn't either.
46 Ks. But if I'd run with Nathan, that would have been 77 K week, which is a.
But if you're not feeling great and then you do that,
smash yourself.
You might then have been. You might be off for longer. So
I wouldn't
you
have
need to
run
listen to your body. I know there's a motivation thing of like people go, "Oh, I can't be bothered to go," but if you don't and you think fuck it, I should have gone. But if some people are like they train when they're not well or they're feeling under the weather and like genuinely under the weather, and you know yourself because we train a lot. We're probably in touch with our body, especially being a type 1 diabetic as well, myself and Fraser. You know when you don't feel right 100%, or even if you're like down to 80%, and so. And you go, you know what? It's just take a day off. And it's surprising a day or two off can just let yourself recover. Take some extra zinc and whatever else, some extra vitamins.
I felt great today.
Yeah.
But if I run with you yesterday, I would have let you down for starters because I don't think I would have made it to the end. Like for start, no way. I just felt really down.
That would have been 2 weeks in a row. Pulled the pin 2 weeks in a row.
Stop it.
Yeah. But there's so much COVID going around too. Like. Apparently, if you get COVID, it takes you like a solid few weeks to recover from that, like running related. Like a lot of the runners that have had it, it's taken them weeks to get their heart rate under control. Like they're jogging and they've got like sky high heart rates and stuff.
And puffing hard too.
So you've got to be careful at the moment. Like you don't want to go and you could put yourself in a
But it was good to see Steve yesterday. Yeah.
Steve, you work night shift, don't you? For anyone who doesn't know that, that's why you're running at strange times and stuff.
Yeah, odd hours, man. I get up at 10 p.m. to start work, and usually finish about 7. So whatever time I get home with traffic, usually about 7:30 or so. And then if that involves a school run, usually I get home from then about 8:30, get changed and go. So it's usually 8:30 to 9 o'clock start anyway, which is terrible during the summer. And if I leave it to the afternoon, there's no advantage. It's usually just, if it's cooler, it's more humid in the afternoons. So yeah, I'd still rather just do it after work and then have a shower and be done with it. Yeah.
You got to just find shade, like shaded paths to run on, eh?
Yeah.
That must be hard. Like living a life of, working nights and, it's dark and the body really does want to go to sleep.
There's no real different to you guys running after work. It's just that I haven't had the full sleep. Like normally before work I have 3 hours and then after work I have 3 hours. So it's a split sleep too. So I sort of go for 6 hours. If I get 6 hours, it's a bonus. Whereas you guys might try for 6 or 7 hours and maybe get 6 hours, but it's a straight sleep. So so for me to run after work, I've only had 3 hours, then worked 8 to 9 hours, and then come home and done a bit of stuff to get out to running. But it's still off 3 hours sleep really, because for me to have a sleep after my run in the morning, I have 3 hours and then do my stuff in the afternoon. You know what I mean? But anyway, even though I didn't commit to Saturday, I probably would have let Nath down again, as he said. I feel better for it today. I had a good run.
It's good, mate.
Yeah, and as I say, I still got 46k, so adding that 32 on would have been a huge week and maybe better for it not doing it. I don't know, but
don't feel bad, mate. You didn't come. I'll hold it against you some other time. Oh, mate, because I had I woke up Sunday. I did actually have headaches and sore throat, and then Monday I woke up headache and sore throats, and I was like, I didn't have any tests at home, so to go to me, because I'm in and out of doctor surgeries all day, and they're always asking, they're taking my temperature, they're asking, have you got any symptoms and all that, and might sneeze a bit, might be hay fever, but I might have sneezed for no reason. I'm like, hang on, I've got to say, nah, I haven't had any symptoms. Yeah. And so, and they're like, and some surgeries want you to list where you've been in the last 7 days. So I went, you know what, I'm just going to go and get a PCR test. And I managed to pick up some COVID tests as well. And anyway, I did the PCR test. And so obviously I have to isolate so Matilda came home as well. And then Tuesday, I got the result back Tuesday lunchtime that it was negative. And then I tested as well myself because I was still feeling, I still had headaches and sore throat. I tested myself and that was negative. And then also I was going back to work Wednesday. So I tested again and even though I had sore throat and it was negative. So I had a rest on Monday when I was meant to do an easy 8K. On Tuesday, I went and did a 6K easy. Wednesday was meant to be a tempo on the plan. So I just went and did a 10K easy. Thursday didn't run, even though it's meant to be 6K, and did a strength session. Rested Friday. And then I got the text message from Steve as I'm just leaving the gate to go to get out to Margate that he wasn't coming. I was like, if I'd got that 10 minutes ago, I might have sat at home, but I just got in the car, drove out to Margate and did my 32K, and I went south first from Margate to
Plantar. Where'd you start?
Margate at the the park there, right at the end. It's the last bit of beach, the end by the toilet block there at Margate Beach. Before you go up the hill.
Where all those pine trees are.
On the Margate side.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Jetty to jetty course.
So I headed south first out to the Clontarf Beach, turned around, and it was 10K when I got back to the car, and I did my little, cold water technique with my left foot. And actually it was good though, because I tested my sugar and it had gone starting at 13 and my sugar had gone down to 4.7. So I'd can of lemonade and other stuff.
Hang on.
Then I took my little Endura. Say again.
What's the cold water technique? What?
Well, there's this, I'll send you the link. There's this thing of where if you're training at the gym, you do a set or you do a couple of sets, you put your hands, got this cold mitt. It's called the cold mitt. It's not freezing cold water, it's cooler water. And the idea is that your blood circulates through. You don't shut off the blood supply like doing an ice bath, but it cools the blood down. The blood goes back to the muscle and cools the muscle down. Now, as muscle heats up, it stops pyruvate kinase, which you need for muscle contraction from turning ATP to ADP and then back to ATP again. And so the pyruvate kinase gets inhibited because of the heat. So the idea of the blood being a bit cooler, the body will try and heat it back up to 37 degrees. It's back to the muscle and cools the muscle down so the pyruvate kinase can work again. And it allows you to go from, say, doing 100 dips to this guy, and this doctor's doing a clinical trial, and this one guy then did 600, managed to do 600 dips in a workout, and only you can do like 100, 150. So I put my left foot in that, thinking, okay, the core muscle will go around, cool the muscles down because the muscle heats up when you're working, and it'll help me feel better and do that 32K. I didn't do it when I got back at 28K when I headed north, come back. But it's funny that the result is that nothing on my left side aches. All my ache is coming from my right calf, my right glute, my right glute is the problem that we're working on with the physio and massage, because that's tight. That probably leads to a tight hammy, tight calf. So that's the problem I get when I'm running. It's a tight, my fascia plantar is getting sore. So
basically you just did it as a trial to see what would happen, or?
Yeah, so I did it, and what I'm actually gonna do next time is actually put both feet in the water, take the socks off, put both feet in it. But I think I had the water too cold, so I took an esky with some water in, about 3 inches of water, and I put 2 ice blocks in it. But I think I cooled the water down too much. So what I'm going to do next time is just put 1 ice block in it, leave it, and then take that out, because the water, it doesn't have to be freezing cold. It just needs to be cooler than, I don't know what the temperature is. They don't let you know what the temperature is, because that's part of what the cool mitt is. There, like, that's their they've got like a patent on it. So I'm going to do some more investigation, see what temperature they get it down to. But you don't want to shut off blood supply completely. So I was taking my foot out, putting it in, taking my foot out, putting it in, while I was just sitting there. I did that for about 2 or 3 minutes. So I'm going to do both feet and see if that has an effect on both legs.
Interesting.
You're going to be able to in a race, so are you?
I will be on the 50K, because at the halfway mark, Steve and Matilda hopefully be there, and they'll be there with the esky. I can take my socks off while I put new
socks on after.
Oh yeah, put new socks on. Or if I put the the slick stuff on, stop my feet getting my hot spots, and just do that for 2 minutes, and that might really make a difference to finish the next 25K. So, I'm going to test a few more times to see if it's effective. But my left, I don't even really have a calf ache in my left leg, but I'm pretty bad in my right leg. Like, I was limping this morning.
Shit, I might give that a whirl.
So even if you go to the gym, they reckon get a bucket of, like, because water that comes out of the tap's about 21 to 24 degrees. Get a bucket there, put a little bit of ice in it. Do a set bench press. Put your hands down so it covers all your hands in the bucket for like a minute. Shake them off. Go and do another set. Put your hands back in and see how long it takes you to really fatigue, and see if you can do more reps, more sets than you would do normally. So you could do a test this week, then next week go, right, okay, I'm going to try that with the cold water and a technique. Same if you're doing pull-ups, because the cold water is going back to those muscles to cool it down. Same if you're doing squats. You put your feet, they reckon, put your feet in the water, because that helps. That blood's flowing back through the muscles as it goes up to the heart.
Oh, well, when you send us some links, I'll put that in the description. Yeah. But for anyone who doesn't know, Nathan and Fraser are type 1 diabetics. Fraser, when you're like, it's probably a story for other podcasts, but I've had to do Fraser's injection a few times. You two are like if you're doing a long run, it's not as simple for you guys just to put your shoes on, roll out of bed and go running, is it? You have to get your blood sugar levels at a certain level,
and there's a bit of
to keep it there, don't you?
What you even the injection you have the night before you go to bed, if you're going to get up in the morning and go for a long run, or 50K or something like that, you just got to even work all that out and stuff. And then in the morning, what your sugar levels are, what you need, and then always have something on you as well when you're running and stuff.
And so on Friday night, I had about 20% less of my background insulin. So I used to have 12 units at night. So I had 10 units, because I didn't want my sugar to be low through the day. So and when you're doing exercise, if you're on a pump, the basal amount that you're having, you usually cut that back by 50%. So if I'd had 50%, there would have been 2 less. So not enough insulin. So I backed it down to 10 units because I knew then, and then your body's going to be burning up energy for the rest of the day. So I didn't want to be hypoing for the rest of the day. But the 32K went all right. I saw the park runners and I looked at the results, and there was a chick flying in the park run. Who was obviously winning it, and she was unknown and they didn't give her a time. So second place was the guy that I saw in second. I saw all the park runs. Run went all right. There was a few other people out running, and people actually, it's good to, you have to sort of force yourself to say, force people to say hello. You say hello to them. Some people ignore you and they're in the zone or whatnot. So I got back to the car and I then done 28K. So I had another few K to go back the other way and come back. And then it was nice to finish off, jump in the sea and have a, just to cool off in the water, and then came home, jumped in the bar. So that was my week. I mean, it was a bit of a mess up, but
also on this topic, you the last 3 long runs you did 30K last week in trail shoes, 19 the week before, 30Ks with Woolley the week before out at Glasshouse, and this Saturday was your longest road run in a pair of new shoes. How did they go?
The Kayano, the Asics Gel Kayano 28s actually went pretty good. I know people talk about their feet overheating in those, but I have my new socks on. It's one of my purchases of the week. I'll talk about it when we get a chance. They actually weren't too bad. They my left. That's funny. You get a bit of I don't know what you guys are like, but it's it seems to be like hitting that 20K, because you're not used to doing it. The muscles aren't used to sort of that. So that's, I think, is part of the issue. But the my right arch started hurting at about I could feel my foot at about 5K. The arch started hurting at about 20K. And my left outside heel, which maybe that's your Achilles, you class it as that, was a bit like someone had stuck a bit of a needle in it. But then that went. Then my calf might hurt a bit. Then that went. Then my foot stopped hurting, and it was more my calf was getting a bit sore. So, you get these little niggles, and they go. My hip was a bit sore right at the start, was sore. That went. You just run through it.
That's me every run. I just got aches and pains everywhere. I just get on with it.
I just was like, it's not like I pulled a muscle and I had to stop. So I was like, I just keep going. And I felt pretty good.
That's pretty
good.
To warm up, I reckon.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, my hip actually got better after longer I went, and my hip wasn't hurting at the end, and it hasn't hurt since. So I reckon it's just that motion. And I find I like stop. I might do kick my heels back a bit when I'm, once you get in, because the leg moves in only a limited distance. So like then going down to a squat, really good, stretch the legs out and the quad, and like that can hurt a bit. And just making sure to do that every 10K, and it's hard doing that distance on your own, though. I have to admit, no pressure to anyone. But I think I kept it pretty consistent. Like I think a 5:54 a K. And then when I saw it go 6 minutes a K, I was happy. If it went to 6:15, I'd be like, okay.
Pick it up a bit.
Just make sure up it up a bit. Yeah. So I keep trying to keep myself accountable.
How you feeling today?
I could go for a run now, I reckon.
Do it.
I wanted to, because I got a good purchase of the week that you guys don't know about.
What is your purchase of the week?
Okay, I've got 3. All right.
This is going to be a regular thing, is it?
Yeah, I reckon.
Nathan.
Okay, so the first one, you can see it. It's like a rolling pin. It's $20 from Rebel Sports, and it's just really good. You push it on your thigh, push it on your hammies, put it on your calves. Just really get into it and roll them out. Like that, I found that really good. That's a really good buy. Like, and don't go. I mean, that's pretty soft, that stuff. So you don't have to go for the $60 ones.
I got one of them at Kmart.
Yeah, about $10. How much? $10.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's like the middle bit's like rock hard, so it's like not soft pad.
This is a bit softer. Yeah. Then the other purchase, because I was looking, I saw these. I was just in Rebel Sports, and I saw these Plantar Fasciitis socks, and I was like, oh, what's all that about? $45. I was like, So I was talking to the lad, and he said it's because they've got extra. They're tight around the ankle, so they help keep the arch up. And I thought, okay, all right. I was like, oh, that. Anyway, I said, oh, they're too short. You know me, I hate short socks. So anyway, he comes over with these Under Armour ones. He bought 2 lots, and they had one in white. And I said, well, I'm not doing trail running in white socks, buddy. You know, like who's going to run in white socks trail running? And so he had these 2XU ones that they were $60, but I got these ones for $50. But they come up long. Oh, I know, for a pair of socks. But they come up long, so you can pull them up over your calves. They're compression. They're actually a recovery sock. But the padding on them is pretty good and quite tight around the arch. These are awesome. $50.
They look impressive.
Look, I really enjoyed running with them.
Yeah, socks. I used to get a 3-pack for like $10.
I have running shitty shoes, but though I can trump those purchases. Okay. Trump those purchases with the microphone out of the way. Oh yeah, baby.
Oh, yes.
Oh, he's gone the vapor.
Oh,
Yes.
Wow.
Nike haven't got them. Nike said, look, we're out of stock. Well, we never have them. He goes, try Rebel Sport. This was the only color, $329. And they are in a 12. I had to go for a US 12, not 11 and a half, because they're quite tight across the toe box. But luckily I've had 32K run in the morning. My feet were a little bit swollen. I wore socks that I was running, and these were like pretty good. So that was the only color they had. I mean, you can see the pink there, but the colorway is pretty good.
What is that color called?
This has got the name.
People listening, it's like a yellow
Colours, isn't they?
Yeah.
No, they're named. I think this one is because it's 220. It's named after a runner, isn't it? There's a color that's named after one of the runners.
There is some custom ones, like there's an Elliot Kipchoge one, there's a Mo Farah one.
Yeah, but mate, they are so light compared to the tempo. And I was like, I want to go for a run tonight, but we're doing
when you do your sub 20 attempt, I reckon if you wear them, you'll get it.
So I'm going to go for a run around the block in them. I'd be interested to see how they go on the road for a longer run. 20K.
They're perfect. They're just the best shoes.
I ran in the shop in them, and the foam is amazing. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to take off.
Yeah.
You could dunk in these. You what?
You got a pair of them, Woolley, haven't you?
Yeah. I've had a couple of pairs. They're it's hard to pick between them and the Alpha Flies, but the spring that you get out of the Alpha Flies is just like like you feel like you're on pogo sticks. They're that good, and I'm not exaggerating. They're so good. Like really, when you sort of like learn how to run in them, if you're running a half marathon or something and your legs are getting fatigued, you can almost kind of just concentrate on just sort of stamping your feet and using the bounce to kind of have a bit of a rest, if that makes sense. Like, but it's hard to pick. I couldn't pick between the Vaporflies or the Alpha Flies. They're both.
The Vaporfly 2. I don't know if there's much difference between the Vaporfly 2 and the Vaporfly 1, but they got those jagged laces, so they're meant to you could do the top up tighter than the bottom, and it won't all work its way out. So it's easy.
That's the same as the Alpha Flies. They've got that too, and they don't come undone as easy.
But I know Seth in the studio guy, he didn't like the laces. He couldn't work them out, changed them over. But, he wasn't happy with them. But
when do you reckon you'll have a crack at that park run
again?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just looking at the training plan. 32, 35, 27. I got an 18K run the week before. So maybe I'll give it a crack then and then add some time on.
And just jog after it or something.
Do a warm up before it. Yeah. And then do it and then maybe do like another 10K after it.
Yeah, because if you jump on my YouTube page, if you just search Steve and Woolley on YouTube, it'll come up. I've got the vlog from when Nathan had a crack at 20 minutes at North Lakes a little while ago, and we were on track until probably the last lap or something. Just dropped off a little bit. Away. But you'd had a big week, and it was boiling hot too.
Yeah, but if it If it's cool enough, we give it a smash.
Better to do it in the winter months, I reckon.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Summer's no time. Summer's no time for PBs, really, in Brisbane.
I'm lucky with work. Work give you $295 a year towards like shoes or gym membership. So I'm like, thanks, work.
Yeah.
I get $200
next year.
I get $200
Looking forward to the review. Those shoes. They sound pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll do a little video, I suppose, because it's good to see what the layman man thinks of it. But the inline running, that's what I was going to say. Inline running podcast had that guy on there from America who did all the review of all the like the super shoes, and they reckon they give you a 4% increase in performance. And you might think, or in speed, you might think, well, what's 4%? Give it take, but 4% works out. I think that worked out about at each K. That worked out about like a six seconds. No, even more. I think it worked out about like
depends what pace you're running at, surely.
Yeah,
4% on 5 minutes is different than 4% on 4 minutes.
Yeah, but they were racing on him. They were doing on the treadmill, but racing at a set pace. They set them at a set pace or distance, and you could do it in. So I think, and keep the heart rate the same. So it ended up though, I think it worked out for my park run. I would run a minute quicker in just changing shoes. And that's pretty good. If you're a 21-minute park runner, you could do a sub 20 by just changing shoes.
Yeah.
Maybe not a minute over 5K, but definitely a good chunk of time. Like I've had the New Balance.
I think I worked out about 6 seconds a K, something like that.
Yeah, that's heaps when you're like racing, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
I've had the New Balance super shoes. I've had the I've had a few different brands, and like not shitting on the other brands. The Nikes are just, for me, they're just so much better.
So if it's 4% on like a 20-minute run, that's 48 seconds. So if you were running 20 minutes in regular shoes, 4% off that is 48 seconds.
Yeah, because what's like
I'm good at maths.
10% of a minute is 6 seconds. So say 4, so maybe it's 3 seconds a minute. So yeah, you're looking at about 40, 50.
Imagine over a marathon. That's huge.
Could get you a sub 20-minute park run. Not, that people might be going, oh, sub 20. Yeah, there might be some really good running. They're going, sub 20, easy. But there's a lot of people that's like sub 20 would be, is for a lot of people is a milestone. And that's who we're targeted at.
It's a huge barrier to break. 20 minutes is a massive barrier to break. Once you get through 20 minutes, it's sort of like,
it's probably one of those psychological things, Yeah. So,
sure. What's coming up this week? Anyone got anything planned? No races this weekend coming?
Nah.
When's the next race?
Got the kids this week, so it'd be a lot of treadmill running this week.
That's good. Get it done. I've got to when we clock off from this, I've got to rejoin the Striders, and then I'm entering the Masters National Champs. I'm going to do the 5K on the track and possibly the cross country.
When's the 5K?
I haven't seen the timetable, but apparently they're spread out. And the 5K's at Cusack on the track. There's a 10K road race as well. So I'm umming and ahhing between the cross country and the road race, but I'll definitely do the 5K. And the cross country is apparently at St. Lucia Golf Course. So at least it's going to be a nice grass
and when's that?
Course.
1st
of April to the 4th of April. So just got good, perfect time for planning.
Is anyone going to do a road marathon this year?
Yeah, I think I'll do the Gold Coast.
When's that?
June or July. I don't know.
Because that's been really good and it's flat as.
Yeah.
What's Noosa like though? What's the Noosa marathon like? Anyone done?
Pretty flat.
It's flat. You just got the canal bridges and that's it. So you got the bridges to go over.
4 laps, isn't it? So
4 laps.
Yeah.
5 out and back by 4.
There's a 10K half marathon. There's a 30K, and then there's a full marathon.
Anyone going up to do it? Any of it?
Do the
Yeah,
half.
I'll do something.
Yeah. I'm looking at doing the 30, 31.
When is it? When
Oh,
is
you
it?
talked
8th of
about
May,
that
isn't it?
last week, Steve. You're going to do the 30K, aren't you?
It's May 28, I think.
Oh, yeah, May 20. Yeah. Entries are open to enter it already. So.
Yeah.
May 20.
Mate, if I can
Exactly.
get Arvi, one of my mates from the Striders, to come up, we'll talk about our experience at the Noosa Bolt. That was a couple of months ago.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That was the elite 5,000 meter race, and oh man, it was the cool story to that, because we were worried that we were going to be like the slowest in the field by minutes, and I mean we were at the back, but yeah, it was an interesting day. That boiling hot.
Ryan Gregson won that, didn't he?
Oh, I was starting the last lap as they were like finishing, and geez, it was they were probably about 300 meters from the finish line, and they were full tilt racing, like neck and neck sprint finish.
Yeah.
Crowd was going mad. It was like, it would have been good to stop and watch, but also I had a whole lap to go. But that was run over those bridges, and even though they're not that big, they were enough to kind of knock your rhythm out of you, like the little.
And we got to put a team in for the Anzac Day Nunda Crit Track relay.
We'll lock that in this week as well.
Do you race it? So it's a 5-man team. Are they still racing against the 4-man team as well? It just does. It's just like
if you've got 4.
So if you've only got 4 people,
luck.
It's your problem.
Yeah.
Luck for them. Yeah.
5. So you probably, if you've got 5 here, you should maybe get at least, you get 2 laps each, because you have to do a minimum of 2 laps each. But you won't get around to doing 3 laps each, would we? Don't know if it would go fast enough.
Maybe.
It's only an hour and a half.
Yeah.
1.2K.
Yeah.
Was it 5 minutes? 5 minutes for 1.2K.
Yeah, it should be. Someone should get at least 4. A couple of us to get 4 in, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if it was on 5 minutes,
you get 3.
And then, 75 minutes for 3 each.
Some will get 4 in, so you get 3 each, probably 4. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
That's all right. We'll make sure that Wax is
next week. Let's get Brad. We'll definitely get Brad up here, because he's a classic. He's a lazy bugger, but he's really, really funny. But and then we might start getting some guests in to speak.
Yeah,
we're talking. We'll get a few people in.
Anyone on? I was just thinking, what's everyone been running in this last week? Have they been shoe rotation or just running in the same things?
I've got.
Matilda's laughing in the background because she knows just shoes galore here.
I just wear different ones of them.
What's that phrase? Sorry.
I've got 3 pairs of those Tempo Next Percent. So I just rotate wearing 3 different colours: black, blue, or orange.
Oh man, aren't they?
Have you had any problem with yours?
Shoe.
Have you had no problems with them?
No.
I've never had any problems with mine either.
But where did you buy yours from, Fraser?
The first pair I bought was from Rebel Sport, the black pair. I wear them really on the treadmill now. But the blue pair and the orange pair I got from the outlet shop at night.
DFO. Because I think the problem was, like, one of them I split in front of Lee showing them how they flex, but the other one had a little nick in it and it split. But I reckon it's because I do run a bit off road in them as well. I'm not dedicated on a road or a footpath. I'm running on gravel and a bit off-roady. So I reckon that was the issue. But Ben Parks went through 6 pairs of Tempo Next Percent. He said, and then the air pockets were actually going.
Yeah.
And I think some of the Alpha Flies, the air pockets went on as well. So that's why I went with the Vapor Fly.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with the Vapor Flies. But man, I've had no dramas with the Tempos or the Alphas.
I did love mine. They were great.
Tempos they're just unreal.
If I saw a cheap pair at DFO, $100 or whatever, I'd get them because they're definitely worth having.
They're always there. They're always there if you look.
Like you need another pair of shoes.
Yeah, but like it's good to have them, like for training. When the others wear out.
What are you doing, Sparling? Have you got a few pairs you're rotating?
All right, heaps. I don't know. I think I got about 11 or 12 pairs of shoes. Heaps. I don't know. But yeah, I buy them when they're cheap or when the ones wear out. But I don't own any Nikes. I'm not a Nike person. I sort of
Get with the program.
now been
Martin.
Salcone Endorphin Speeds and Pros. The Pros are carbon version. The other ones are a nylon plate. Yeah, the speeds.
We could get you fast, mate. Parkrun. We could get you really fast at parkrun.
Those endorphin pros are supposed to be really good.
When you get down to my time, and when you get down to 19 minutes 30, I'll buy a pair of Nikes and see if I can go faster. What do you reckon?
Yeah. Okay.
The endorphin speeds are a nylon plate, but they seem to. They're my all-round shoe. I've got a pair right now. I just had a look before. They're up to 955 Ks. And I bought the other set maybe August last year, thinking they were going to run out of Ks, but
you put sugar on them, haven't you?
Yeah, I put a bit of sugar on the heel counter, so where I just tap maybe the heel on the heel strike. I'm not a heel striker, but must just graze it on the way through to the forefoot. Yeah. I just put a bit of heel shoe goo on there, and I don't know, every 100 Ks maybe, but it seems to just give it a buffer to make it go again. But I've been running in the new ones as well. I've done about 80 Ks in new ones. They still feel exactly the same. It's weird. Yeah, I love them. They're an all-round shoe. You can do whatever in them. I don't know. We'll see. Next speed session, I'll wear them and see what happens.
Yeah. The talking of shoe goo, yeah, I'll wear the Vaporfly. See what happens. That shoe goo we used to, because everyone used to heel strike many years ago, didn't we? Everyone was a heel striker. We used to always wear the heels down on shoes, and I mean, obviously, you want a pair of shoes to wear out if you manufacture shoes, because people aren't going to buy them again. Like if you had a light bulb that never blew out, you wouldn't buy more light bulbs, would you? So they make them obviously to wear out, but we used to wear the heels down, and Dad used to go and buy the shoe goo, and we just used to he's with his lollipop stick working it out, get it perfect, and you get another 6 months out of your shoes, and keep them going. But yeah, that was great. It is good stuff though. Like, it's great.
It still flexes with the shoe, so it just wears exactly the same as the tread. So I used to use it for baseball years ago, and put it on the toe cap of the shoe, so where you pitch and you drag your toe through on a follow through like a bowler, like in cricket. A couple of games, you'd wear the toe out of your shoe where your big toe drags along the ground. So you put that on there essentially before you even start wearing the shoes as a guard. Never used it until now on the running shoes, but yeah, probably the same guy that sold you your shoes at Rebel told me about it, and been trying that since then, and it's lasted probably about 600 Ks, I reckon, because they started to wear out on the heel at about 350, so it's now 600 Ks after I started using it. So otherwise,
how do you know how many Ks you've done in each pair of shoes? Have you got them all like programmed into your Strava?
Yeah, in Strava, you just go into gear, put in a new pair of shoes, and then when you run, you just go edit and go down and pick the shoe.
You have to go to the website to do it, to add a pair of shoes. You got to go on the website. You
can do it on your phone.
Yeah, I did it on my phone, but from Safari, because I couldn't do it from the app. It says you have to go to Safari to add them. But then when you go to edit, you get your run comes up, edit and change it. And you can set as a default. So I've got I think I've got the Kayano set as default.
Is that the free Strava? Is that the one you...
No, the free one. Yeah. You look on mine, it'll tell you.
The latest update from probably a month ago or so, you can do it on the app as well. So
really?
Okay. Strava right now. So if you buy a new pair of shoes, you just log them in there, say new shoes, and call them sparkling glitter gold like Nathan's.
You can nickname them.
And have them as your default, and then if that's not your default, you just have to change it. But if you run in them, it automatically tacks on whatever run you did in them. So over time, it just adds on. So if I do a trail run, I just have to change it to whatever trail shoe I use, you know?
Yeah.
And then the totals just accumulate for each individual shoe.
All shoes will be different. Like a trail shoe probably won't last as long as a road shoe.
No.
Maybe.
No.
Like a race shoe. Race shoe only lasts so many races, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how you log it, Steve-O. You're going to need a really big phone, put all yours in.
Yeah, I've got loads. I've got an old pair of Vaporflies that I like. If I go to Striders to do the sessions on Tuesday and Thursday, I wear them. Or if I'm doing something around home, I'll wear them. And they're like, they've done that many Ks. they've just lost that real nice pop. You know, like when you put them on, those new ones, Nath, you'll see what I mean. But the older ones have lost that pop, but they still, I don't know what it is, but they still have that like protection in them that once you've actually finished a hard session, your calves and that just aren't smashed up. So you still get that protection, but you just don't get that extra help.
How do you find them compared to, say, the Zoom Fly, the newer versions of the Zoom Flies?
As they're getting more and more worn out, they're getting closer to a Zoom Fly, I'd say.
Oh, okay.
But they're just a bit lighter.
Those Zoom Fly are pretty good. I mean, I can hit they really helped, I reckon, when we did that session down at D-Bay that time. I like running in them.
We should wrap it up there. We've been going for ages.
Plenty to talk about, always.
Yeah, let's get everyone having a good week this week, and we'll catch up next Sunday.
All right. Good week, everyone.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Stay healthy.
Wear your mask.
Catch you, boys.
All right. Don't get your zinc and your Vic D. All right. See you guys. Have a good week.
See ya.
Yeah.
See you guys. Bye.
Close your eyes, leave all your troubles behind. Yes, it's fine. Come kick it with me in my imagination. In my imagination. Well, sometimes my mind plays these tricks on me sometimes, and I'll find that my mind climbs higher than it should climb. On my imagination, I'm contemplating, hesitating on exploiting my mind, which you find in time. Our minds, they will shine when they want to shine. You can put a time on mine. Show me these purple elephants, a twisted intelligence, extension on tolerance.